Hi everyone, thanks for tuning into our YouTube channel. This is our September book club for our intermediate grades, our 3rd through 5th grades, and this is Wishtree. And this book doesn't really have a lot of pictures, so when it does have it, I will show you. But you're mainly just going to be watching the cover and listening to me read you a story. This book is great. It's a fairly easy read, but there's quite a bit of pages and chapters, so it might take us a little bit longer. So tune in. I'll read a few chapters every night, and then we will finish this book together. If you are tuning in and you are watching me read this book, please come up to me in the hallways and tell me about it and tell me what you think about it. And if you have any predictions, the whole point of a book club and being able to read books together is to be able to talk about books and fall in love with books. So tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, tell me what you want to hope to change, etc. So feel free to talk to me. Make sure that it's like maybe at recess time, maybe don't leave your class to come talk to me. But when you have free time, come talk to me. All right. Be different to trees. The talking oak to the ancient spoke, but any tree will talk to me. What truths I know, I garnered so, but those who want to talk and tell, and those who will not listeners be, will never hear a syllable from out the lips of any tree. That poem was written in 1924. Chapter 1. It's hard to talk to trees. We're not big on chit-chat. That's not to say we can't do amazing things you'll probably never do. Cradle, downy outlets, steady, flimsy tree forts, photosynthesize, but talk to people, not so much. And just try to get a tree to tell a good joke. Trees do talk to some folks, the ones we know we can trust. We talk to daredevil squirrels, we talk to hardworking worms, we talk to flashy butterflies and bashful moths. Birds, they're delightful. Frogs, grumpy but good-hearted. Snakes, terrible gossips. Trees, never met a tree I didn't like. Well, okay, there's that sycamore down at the corner. Yakety, yakety, yak, that one. So do we ever talk to people? Actually talk? That most people-y of people skills? Good question. Trees have a rather complicated relationship with people after all. 1 minute you're hugging us, the next minute you're turning us into tables and tongue depressors. Perhaps you're wondering why the fact that trees talk wasn't covered in science class during those Mother Nature is our friend lessons. Don't blame your teachers. They probably don't know that trees can talk. Most people don't. Nonetheless, if you find yourself standing near a particularly friendly-looking tree on a particularly lucky-feeling day, it can't hurt to listen up. Trees can't tell jokes, but we can certainly tell stories. And if all you hear is the whisper of leaves, don't worry. Most trees are introverts at heart. So I want you to think for just a second, what perspective is this book written in? Who is the narrator right now? Who do we think is telling us this story? Chapter 2. Name's Red, by the way. Maybe we've met. Oak tree near the elementary school. Big, but not too big. Sweet shade in the summer, fine color in the fall. I am proud to say that I am a northern red oak, also known as, this was a hard word, Quercus rubra. I'm not sure that's a sciencey word. If you know the correct answer, come tell me. Red oaks are one of the most common trees in North America. In my neighborhood alone, hundreds upon hundreds of us are weaving our roots into the soil like knitters on a mission. I have rigid, reddish-gray bark, leathery leaves with pointed lobes, stubborn, searching roots, and, if I do say so myself, the best fall color on the street, red. Doesn't begin to do me justice. Come October, I look like I'm ablaze. It's a miracle the fire department doesn't try to hose me down every autumn. You might be surprised to learn that all red oaks are named Red. Likewise, all sugar maples are called Sugar. All junipers are called Juniper. And all bosom trees are called Bosom. That's how it is in the tree world. We don't need names to tell one another apart. Imagine a classroom where every child is named Melvin. Imagine the poor teacher trying to take attendance each morning. It's a good thing trees don't go to school. Of course there are exceptions to the name rule. Somewhere in Los Angeles, there's a palm tree who insists on being called Karma. But you know how Californians can be. What do you guys think about Red so far? What kind of character do you think Red is? What kind of personification or personality types of things are they giving this tree, our Red? My friends call me Red, and you can too. But for a long time, people in the neighborhood have called me the Wishtree. There's a reason for this, and it goes way back to when I wasn't much more than a tiny seed with higher aspirations. Long story. Every year on the first day of May, people come. I want you to see that picture. I think it'd be really cool if we had a tree in Minden or Garnerville that we could go and make wish trees on. Maybe Mr. Stoll would let us make one of our trees at Minden a wish tree that we could do on May 1st. We're going to have to talk to Mr. Stoll. That would be so cool. From all over town to adorn me with scraps of paper, tags, bits of fabric, snippets of yarn, and the occasional gym sock. Each offering represents a dream, a desire, a longing. Whether draped, tossed, or tied with a bow, they're all hopes for something better. Wish trees have a long and honorable history going back centuries. There are many in Ireland, where there are usually hawthorns or the occasional ash tree, but you can find wish trees all over the world. For the most part, people are kind when they visit me. They seem to understand that a tight knot might keep me from growing the way I need to grow. They are gentle with my new leaves, careful with my exposed roots. After people write their hope on a rag or piece of paper, they tie it onto one of my branches. Usually they whisper the wish aloud. It's traditional to wish on the first day of May, but people stop by throughout the year. My, oh my, the things I have heard. I wish for a flying skateboard. I wish for a world without war. I wish for a week without clouds. I wish for the world's biggest candy bar. I wish for an A on my geography test. I wish Miss Gentorini, weren't so grumpy in the morning. I wish my gerbil could talk. I wish my dad could get better. I wish I weren't hungry sometimes. I wish I weren't so lonely. I wish I knew what to wish for. So many wishes, grand and goofy, selfish and sweet. It's an honor, all the hopes bestowed upon my tired old limbs. Although, by the end of May Day, I look like someone dumped a huge basket of trash on top of me. This will be our last chapter for tonight. Chapter 4. As you've probably noticed, I'm more talkative than most trees. This is new for me. I'm still getting the hang of it. Nonetheless, I've always known how to keep a secret. You have to be discreet when you're a wish tree. People tell trees all kinds of things they know will listen. It's not like we have a choice. Besides, the more you listen, the more you know. The more you learn. Bongo says I'm a busybody, and I suppose she has a point. She's my best pal, a crow. I've known since she was nothing but a pecking beak in a speckled egg. We disagree sometimes, but that is the way of all friends, no matter their species. I've seen many surprising friendships during my life. A pony and a toad, a red-tailed hawk and a white-footed mouse, a lilac bush and a monarch butterfly. All of them had disagreements from time to time. I think Bongo is too pessimistic for such a young bird. You can't see him. There's Bongo. Bongo thinks I'm too optimistic for such an old tree. It's true, I am an optimist. Do you know what an optimist is? A pessimist is someone who tends to think all the bad things are going to happen. And an optimist is someone who thinks that all the good things are going to happen. So Bongo is the pessimist, and he's the young bird, and he thinks that the Red thinks that he should be thinking more good things are going to happen because he's so young. But Red is an old tree, and he's still an optimist, which means he's still thinking that good things happen, even though he's really old. I prefer to take the view on life, old as I am. I've seen both good and bad, but I've seen far more good than bad. So Bongo and I agree to disagree. And that's fine. We're very different after all. Bongo, for example, thinks the way we trees name ourselves is ridiculous. As is the custom with crows, Bongo chose her name after her first flight. It may not be her only name, however. Crows change names on a whim. Bongo's cousin, Gizmo, has had 17 names. Sometimes crows adopt human names. I've seen more Joe Crows than I have seen sunny days. Sometimes they name themselves after things that catch their fancy. Pop-Top, Jujubee, Dead Rat. They'll name themselves after aerobatic maneuvers, Death Spiral, or Barrel Roll, or after colors, or Beetle Black. Many crows opt for sounds they're fond of making. Crows are excellent mimics. I've met crows named Windchime, 18-wheeler, and Grouchy Cab Driver, not to mention a few others that are not appropriate for polite company. Down the street lives an aspiring rock band composed of 4 middle schoolers. They practice in a garage. Their instruments include an accordion, a bass guitar, a tuba, and bongo drums. The band has yet to perform outside of the garage, but Bongo loves to sit on the roof and sway to their music. How do you think Bongo got her name or his name? Do you think it has anything to do with that band practicing in the garage down the street? And if you do, what instrument do you think Bongo is really inspired by? Tomorrow we will start chapter 5, and we will read a few more chapters together, and we'll just keep plugging away. And if you, like I said, want to chat, come find me. And if you have any suggestions, or if you're having a hard time hearing me or seeing things, just let me know and I'll fix it the next time, okay? All right, I'll see you guys on Monday. Happy reading.